What's up, guys? This is X Master here from Volcanic World Entertainment. We're gonna talk a bit about a few games for CAPCOM with my two colleagues.
Asterius.
Slim B.
Yeah, a few games that CAPCOM has forgotten about them that we are truly necessary to, and like we need them to be brought back to life.
Go ahead.
Well, speaking of those, those old games that have been quite forgotten, I think that one of the main ones, actually, and pretty old, and it's a pretty game that has a brand. I think one of them is called Mega Man. We are really thankful that they're gonna bring it back. They're gonna bring Mega Man in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and I really like that just for the fact that when we play Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2, we got Mega Man, and everybody was complaining that Zero was left behind, and then in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they brought him back, and people were starting to feel like nostalgic because people was like, oh, we need X2 as well. So they brought him back in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which I'm pretty happy about that. But I gotta be honest, Mega Man is one of the games that I grew up with, and I think that they should take into consideration, Capcom should take into consideration bringing, you know, Mega Man back. I know that they play Mega Man old ones for PS1. They bring the Mega Man X, then it evolved into Mega Man Zero. But after that, Mega Man literally died on handhelds because not even on handhelds come no more. You
Actually,
know,
when they made the Mega Man CX or whatever they were called, they were kind of crappy. So
Like the networks one.
yeah, there were those two, the Network series and the CX and all that shit. That was shit, man. Like that was crap. I miss the good old Mega Man's like Mega Man X. Mega Man Zero was actually pretty decent. The original Mega Man's.
I think
And
my favorite ones is Mega Man X5.
yeah, actually my favorite one is X5 and X4, I think, and I think it was Mega Man and Bass, if I'm not mistaken.
Thing is, they try like to make it back with another name and another title. That didn't work out. Like Mighty
Oh,
Number Nine.
Mighty Number Nine was it had a lot of flaws, but
Got a lot of hypes,
yeah, it was a
but
very well expected game. It took like longer than it should have to be released, and it didn't end up living to the expectations of the gamers that were waiting for it.
so I wish that Capcom taking consideration bringing Mega Man
Fucking Mega Man back, man.
because there's a lot of fans out there like me waiting for another one. Plus, I think they're gonna get a lot of money of it.
Yeah, who doesn't fucking love Mega Man, man? Mega Man is like fucking Zelda from Nintendo,
Exactly.
but from Capcom.
and on PlayStation.
Yeah, but they actually they can bring it to the other consoles too. They can make it for Xbox and actually Switch for once because
Another
I'm not seeing very much like too much support for Switch either.
another game that I really want to come back to life is Devil May Cry.
Yeah, they should not just like as I was talking with Asterius, I mean with X Master the other day. I think they should like do DMC, and then like a Devil May Cry. And since the last game was a DMC, they should like the next one should be like a Devil May Cry from like the original white haired Dante and like Trish
The,
and
the thing is, people complain about like if they change the main character, they start complaining. If the
That-
game is short, they start
but
complaining.
actually I mean, like DMC was a great game. It had great gameplay mechanics. It had a great story.
For me, it was better than the old ones.
Yeah, it was better than the old ones, but the thing is that people complain about like having changed the main character.
Exactly.
Like
The hair,
like it was a reboot and people didn't like that shit. People wanted like
the old one.
the old Dante, but then like if you make a Devil May Cry with the same characters and all that shit, people start like calling it like people start saying that it's being like extended too long. It's probably what I mean. Like they're trying to cash out on that franchise too much.
But you don't see that happen with Assassin's Creed. You don't see that happen with God of War.
But actually with Assassin's Creed they actually waited this time because Assassin's Creed Ubisoft actually seen that the yearly release of Assassin's Creed was actually making more damage than it helped, so they pushed their Assassin's Creed now. Like they still haven't announced any for this year, and they skipped 2016, and they haven't announced anything if it's not announced on the E3.
I heard something about Assassin's Creed Origins. I don't know when it's come out. They might show something on the E3 this year.
That's what I'm saying. If they don't show anything on the E3, I don't think it's coming this year either. But the thing with Assassin's Creed is that at least every game is a different character, except when you count like 2 Brotherhood and Revelations that it's Ezio, but all the other games are with different characters.
I love Devil May Cry. That's like one of my favorite games from Capcom. Period.
Well, what I can say in my perspective about Devil May Cry is the following thing. I think when it comes to DMC, Ninja Theory did a pretty good game. I gotta be honest. And the thing is that they just did a more approach on teenage Dante going to adult, like showing you literally how Dante grew up to be Dante. It's not like when you play Devil May Cry, the first one.
He already was Dante.
He already was Dante. He already got his powers and everything. And I'm not saying this is like a reboot. It's a reboot because of the fact that it touched a different aspect of the game. For example, for everybody who's been playing Devil May Cry, always we have known that Devil May Cry, Dante only has demonic powers. Then on DMC, they show you another side that his mother was an angel. His father was a demon, and I think, from my perspective, that they should continue both storylines. Why I'm saying this? Because of the fact that there's still people who believe that Dante should have been with only demon powers like it originally was, and then with this new DMC that came out, quite some time ago, people, were very pleased about saying and looking, oh, we got 2, now this Dante has angelic and demonic power. So literally, that gives like another perspective to the player.
Yeah, but if you put the old Dante to the new Dante, the old Dante is no match for the new Dante.
Exactly. So it can come to two things. Then
it actually depends on the way you see it. Like
skills wise,
in the gameplay, like if you are talking about gameplay mechanics, Dante from the newer ones, from DMC, it's way better. But if we're talking about like durability and skills and all that shit, like demon slaying skills from like talking about like story wise, Dante from the Devil May Cry series was more powerful.
Yeah, but I told you.
And the thing is that he was only demonic, and in DMC he has angelic powers and demon powers, and he still seems weaker than the other Dante in the story. Is what I mean, not in the.
Yeah, because
that's what the perspective as Terry was telling. Like he was like a teenager in transit to adults. On the old DMCs, you don't see the background story of Dante. You'll see him like Dante already, like Demon Slayer. But in DMC, you see him the struggle between teenager becoming an adult, finding out they had a brother, twin brother.
And that he actually
didn't
want to slay demons or anything. He didn't care about any of that shit.
And one another fact that in the old Devil May Cry, that tell you that Sparta is dead, which on this one on DMC tells you
That he's in
that
prison.
he's in prison. You know, he's in prison. He's not dead because it says he has a fate worse than death. So it means he's not dead. It means he's still alive, but it's kept somewhere by Mundus. But the main thing is that, like I said, they should continue both storylines just for the sake of the players. That you know, some people like the old DMCs, people like the new DMC. I think like both of them are very good. It just depends on how you want to look at it. But you know,
I
I
don't,
think
if they put DMC and Devil May Cry at the same time, the same day, collector edition, I buy both of them. I don't care. They have my money. That's it.
yeah, DMC is a pretty good game. You know, DMC, the new one is pretty much good. I don't understand. You know, people, you know,
People always find something to complain about.
yeah, people always have something to complain about, but I'm pretty sure, you know, that is a good game that it could. You know, if Ninja Theory keeps making good games, hey Ninja Theory, by the way, if you're gonna listen to this, you guys did one hell of a job with that game. So I gotta be honest with you, you guys did a wonderful job with that DMC. If you guys keeping up with the good work, you can make a good ass sequel about DMC, and it's gonna be good. But well, changing subjects because
Okay.
we're not gonna keep sticking to DMC only.
Another game that I think they should bring back is Breath of Fire.
Yeah, Capcom has been short on like RPGs lately.
Yeah, because the only golden goose that they have right now is Street Fighter. You know,
And
because this
Resident
one
Evil.
Resident Evil because are the top notch games that most people think of. But right now, you know,
They're not making a good games because they're giving you like 40% of a game, and you gotta buy the rest. Even
Yeah,
if you pay for a whole disc,
yeah.
65
I
bucks.
mean, like, there's like people that call Capcom like Cashcom or Crapcom because of that shit. um, they sell you like they like to cash in on the DLC a lot. They will sell you a game and then like you'll have to buy half of the game from like one example, dude. One example: Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicle. Umbrella. What was the name? Resident
oh,
Evil
versus Raccoon City.
Operation Raccoon City. They sell you like literally half the game, man. Like the other half you had to buy.
No, I gotta be honest with you. They sell probably like 30% of the game.
Yeah, because actually the other chapters were longer than the actual game.
First of all, you play only 7 missions with the
The
USS, Umbrella Security Service, but you have to see the two sides of the coin because let me ask you something. When you're playing the game, who are those people that oppose you? Who are the Echo Six? We know they're Spec Ops, but you don't know why they're there. You don't know what their mission is. You don't know who they work for. You don't know why they are aiding our heroes, Jill Valentine, Leon Kennedy, Rebecca, Claire Redfield. You know all those kinds of things. You know you don't know. You know what's their main purpose, what's their idea, and then oh, who are those? They're bad guys. They're good guys, but why they're doing what they're doing? What's their purpose? And then you figure it out that after a couple of months they tell you, oh, you know what? You can play as Echo 6 now, but you have to buy this bundle that can give you only, you only have one mission free to download. The rest of them, there are 6 more missions. You've got to buy a pack to get them. So literally, it's just about profit
Coming back to Breath of Fire, they make a new Breath of Fire, but that's for phones. I'm talking about Breath of Fire
for consoles.
for console or handheld because the latest one was for PlayStation 2 and it wasn't that good. And I enjoy like 3 and 4 is like my best for me are the best ones. I like that game. They're really hard to level up. But I like the story, how the other characters.
How the characters develop, throughout the game while you're
Yeah.
playing. I honestly think that, right now, most of the gaming industries are making one big mistake.
I like they forget the main franchise when they hit the game industry. Like people love all those games. They forget to start making new games that are not so good.
And I mean, it's not bad to make new games because oh, of course, every game developer trying to bring something new to the table. But the problem is the following one. The problem is that you bring a new game, and that's good. I understand that, but the problem is the following one. Um, what happens right now that all the game developers try to bring new game to the table. That's perfect, but the problem is the following one. What is the main kind of engine that is running right now in all games, and everybody wants to get a big piece of the cake? Shooters. Right now we got so many shooters that we can even start to begin to count on. And then, right now, if the game is an adventure hack and slash, if it isn't a shooter, if it isn't a multiplayer that you
Not
can
even not even the hack and slash. There's no hack and slash
games
coming out. The only one that I saw was Extinction. Is from the creators of Killer Instinct, and they show like a CGI part of it. I haven't seen no gameplay whatsoever, so I don't know.
Yeah, but remember, that's a new game they're gonna bring to the table. Of course, they're gonna be still in development, but
there's nothing else like.
Yeah, they're leaving a lot of gameplays behind now. He's been focusing Call of Duty, Battlefield. Right now they made the Division, Rainbow Six.
There's a lot of games like MA Morph.
Yeah, like mass multiplayer games. Like it's a Call of Duty wise, like Destiny. That you can play with your friends. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Actually that's good because it makes you connect with your friends, and I understand that's something
like a variety of games, like a library of different type of games.
Yeah, but I can make a suggestion. Why don't make games like Final Fantasy? Like a Role Reborn, like that. But I mean, that's an RPG. That's good. It's good for people that like to play it. That's a good thing. But for example, why can you make a game that is a multiplayer like that and be a hack and slash? For example, let's just say they make a project for I think it's in God of War Ascension. You can play a lot of players playing the same place or but fighting against each other, or
you got a multiplayer.
You got a multiplayer. I'm not saying it's bad, but not every single thing that is multiplayer you can connect with friends has to be shooter. You guys can have fighting games. You guys can have mass multiplayer. You can have RPGs. You can have hack and slash. There's a lot of things that you can just put your friends playing with, like making guilds, for example, like World of Warcraft, like things like that. I'm not talking about doing exactly like they do, but I'm just talking about like you guys can make different variations of those games. For example, let's say you can play Resident Evil. For example, make a Resident Evil that you can play as, like say for example, or you can play against Leon Kennedy, and somebody else can play as Jill, and somebody can play as Claire, Chris, and like that example. That you all are in different parts of the city, but you guys can keep communication, and then you have to find yourselves, and then
do a mission together.
Let me say this: they make a game like that, gotta be a super motherfucking badass villain because. You mentioned the crime.
Like actually, if you put Chris and Leon together,
that's
and,
it.
And
that's
Jill,
two-man army. That's it. They don't need no more.
And if you put
no, yeah, I understand what you guys mean. I just giving an example about it. But
I mean, they are better off just making new characters and throwing them into a series.
All right, but what I'm trying to say is games like that you can actually interact with your friends, and find yourselves or whatever and help each other and do it. Because right now, most likely, if it isn't a shooting game, like, me and my friends are going to play together Call of Duty. Me and my friends are going to play Destiny, we're going to do a raid. Or we're going to do, play this kind of thing. Most likely is shooters, People who like to play RPGs, hack and slash games, and things like that.
And actually, I got to say kudos to CAPCOM on Resident Evil 7. It was a great game.
Thumbs up to that game.
It was well paced. It wasn't that long, so it
It's
helped.
a masterpiece, like for a long time.
Yeah, it was like a refresh take on the
Yeah,
series
yeah.
that was
It
much
was
needed.
something different, but at the same time, it maintained with the old things. Like they got the old essence of the old games, and they add something new, like type of like Silent Hill type
Yeah, it had
stuff.
like that Silent Hill type vibe.
I like that, and it's like dark, like you don't know what you're gonna expect.
Yeah, it was great.
That
So
that
I
was
mean,
good.
like,
Oh, things that you mentioned that I know this is doesn't have to do with CAPCOM, but that's actually one of the game
yeah,
that
Silent Hill actually, yeah,
Silent
that
Hill
was done.
is a good game that should come out. I know that we're doing the developments and things. I remember that the character was just like portrayed to be like Norman Reedus from like exactly how he looked like in Walking Dead, and something happened and they scrapped the project. But I know this doesn't have to do with Capcom or whatever. But that's one of the games, one of my games that I like. I would like to come out and actually like bring it back. Um, but anyway, there's a bunch of games that like we really like would like to
There's
bring
another
back.
game before we finish this. Power Stone.
Power Stone. Sadly, it was just for Dreamcast and it just died on handheld. And you know
I
what?
think
It literally
PSP.
died because they just make the game from the console to a handheld. So literally, there's no Power Stone that came out. It just stays in Power Stone 2, which is really sad because it's a multiplayer game that you can play. And it's actually sad that games like those and a lot of more games that they're supposed to be bringing back from the ashes and bringing it back to the new gaming community that this is being rising up right now.
There's
It
a
should,
lot of people still waiting for a lot of good games from the
yeah,
old times
Yeah,
yeah,
like
to bring back.
yeah.
But
like
they
Well,
don't listen. Like they don't like to listen to the gamers,
to the fans, they
or to
do.
the
you
fans.
remember, to all developers, this is my message. People, we understand that you guys have a lot of ideas. I understand most likely from all that you guys cannot please everybody. We kindly understand that because you guys have ideas, you guys want to implement new things, you guys want to be unique. But I think one of the main things that you guys should pay attention to is to the players. Players make you guys where you are right now. All those records, all those achievements you guys have made through all these years is being thankfully to the players. Without players, there's no glory in developers on games because if you don't make something appealing to players to play, then what's your purpose then of making games? I'm not saying you guys don't haven't done a good job. Every company has their ups and downs. It's just the way to maintain themselves. Just keep on going. It's just that sometimes developers should go instead of thinking in their own box. They should open that box and start looking around and say, let's say what other people say, because
The hell, man, like they can even check like fucking YouTube and check the comments on
Exactly.
their fucking videos, and you will see a lot of people complaining about shit that they can fix.
yeah.
So
And we're
that
not we're not saying that you have to fix every single thing because, like I said before, you guys cannot please everybody. Something you do, something for 100% of the audience, you may I want you to do this, and you please at least 35%, but the
65.
other 65% was like, oh, I don't like that, and then you try to please that other 65% of something, but the other 35 are like, oh, I don't like that. You
And,
cannot
and,
please
and
everybody.
then you try to mix both together, and then you end up pleasing basically none.
Exactly.
The
Or,
thing
or
is,
you please everybody, but you don't feel good of the final product because there's a lot of things you want to implement
like
on the game and you couldn't make it because you were trying to please the audience.
no, they try to implement stuff of their own, and then when the game doesn't sell, they want to stop making the game. But it's not the game. It's what you implement on the game that people didn't like because you don't listen. That's what happened with a lot of games that used to come in the old time, they're not coming out now because they try to make something new or to implement something that they found out it was great and it wasn't so great after all.
Well, guys, I think that's gonna be all for today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you guys have any comments that you'd like to add, or if you guys would like to mention some other games that we have might forgot, or it doesn't have to be from Capcom. It can be other games from other companies that we might have forgot. You guys want us to make a video?
Anything that you want us to talk about, just
Leave it in the comments.
Just leave it in the comment. That
Give
just
it a
like,
like.
subscribe.
Share on Facebook or all the media, and we'll do it.
Thank you, and that will be it. Be safe, guys.